All right, welcome to the Explainer. In today's cricket, the real power, it isn't just about what happens on the field. It's about who's broadcasting it. Today, we're going to follow the money, billions of dollars in media rights that are completely changing the game. Let's dive in.
So let's just start with a number, a huge one, $6.2 billion. What is that? Well, that's the value of the Indian Premier League's media rights for just a 5-year window.
I mean, think about that for a second. That's the price broadcasters were willing to pay just to show the IPL from 2023 to 2027. It's what makes it one of the richest sports leagues on the entire planet. A single deal turned a 2-month domestic tournament into the financial center of a global sport. It's all about those broadcast rights.
Okay, so you've got this powerhouse, the IPL. But how does its value actually stack up against cricket's biggest international events, like the World Cup? Well, the answer? It's a bit more complicated than you might think.
So if you look at it just on a per-game basis, it seems like the ICC's global tournaments are worth more, right? But that number doesn't really tell you the full story. Honestly, it's actually kind of misleading.
Here's the thing. The ICC deal covers a ton of matches, 179 of them, but only a handful, about 28-plus knockouts, actually feature India. And those few India matches, they massively inflate the average value. Broadcasters are basically paying a huge premium just for those games. The IPL, on the other hand, generates massive, consistent value from every single game all season long, and that's where its real financial muscle comes from.
All right, so we've established this incredible financial power, all centered in this one league. But how does that translate into real-world influence across the globe? Well, let's follow the money trail.
See, the massive financial strength of Indian cricket, which is really driven by the IPL, gives its governing body, the BCCI, some pretty unparalleled influence. This isn't just about a successful league anymore. We're talking about how the money from one league's media rights can fundamentally reshape the entire financial and, political structure of a global sport.
And this chart, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? This is the engine room of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI. Just look at it. The IPL makes up nearly 71% of its revenue. Everything else, it's not even close. It's a distant second.
But that influence, it goes way beyond just its own income. Take a look at this number, 38.5%. So what does that even mean?
What it means is this. Of all the money the global governing body, the ICC, earns from all its worldwide events, nearly 40% of that cash is projected to go to just one of its 108 members. I mean, if that's not the definition of financial power, I don't know what is.
So, okay, what does this massive financial imbalance actually look like when you put it on a global scale? How does the richest board compare to some of the others?
Well, the difference is, it's incredibly stark. The BCCI's annual revenue is hovering around $1.17 billion. Now, compare that to an established board like Cricket West Indies at around $88 million. It's not even in the same ballpark. We're talking about a difference of more than 10 times. It's huge.
And for these smaller cricketing nations, this kind of financial gap, it can feel pretty much insurmountable. It creates this really challenging reality where for so many proud cricket countries, it's just a constant battle to develop talent, maintain infrastructure, and just keep up. And as a fan, you have to wonder, right? It raises some serious questions about the competitive balance of the whole sport. Are we heading toward a future where only a handful of teams can ever really compete?
This quote here really says it all. It's from Tim Cutler, the CEO of the Vanuatu Cricket Association, and he said changing the system would be like turkeys voting for Christmas. That just perfectly captures the frustration a lot of the smaller nations feel about how the ICC distributes its revenue.
And here's the core of that concern. The full members, the big, powerful boards, they hold the majority of the votes. So the thinking is, they're probably not going to vote for a new financial model that gives them a smaller slice of the pie, right? It's a system that risks creating a cycle where the rich just get richer, and that could end up slowing down the game's growth in new places all over the world.
So all of this whole economic reality, all driven by these huge broadcast deals, it's creating this fundamental tension right at the very heart of the sport itself.
For over a century, the absolute pinnacle of cricket was playing for your country. That was it. But now, with the rise of these lucrative T20 franchise leagues popping up everywhere, the game is changing. players have these amazing opportunities and a lot of financial security outside of their national teams. And that, well, it's starting to shift priorities.
And this creates a whole new world of challenges, right? The global schedule is packed, leading to conflicts between playing for your league and your country. Player workload and mental health have become huge concerns. You've got national boards worried they're losing their top spot to private franchises. The ICC now has to figure out how to balance the needs of both to keep the sport healthy. The entire sport is being forced to adapt to this new reality, and it's happening really, really fast.
Which really leaves us with the big question that's going to shape the next decade of cricket. With all this money flowing into private leagues, is the future of the sport really a battle between franchise entertainment and national pride? Are we watching a shift where cricket becomes more about global entertainment brands instead of those traditional country versus country rivalries that defined it for so long? That right there is the multi-billion-dollar question.